conversations and anything else. Okay, are you ready? Okay. What are your first memories of loving music? Oh, wait a minute. The other thing I forgot.
Yeah.
When I rephrase the question, it's like Jeopardy again.
Yeah.
Rephrase the question before you answer. Because
Okay.
you know with Pepper stuff, how like you didn't hear me asking, she just was saying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when I ask you, like about,
My first memories of loving music are probably when I was about 5 years old. I saw like the Kiss album, Hotter Than Hell, and I saw the cover of it, and I just, from that moment on, I just loved music, I guess. That's what I wanted to do. A lot of the earlier Foreigner albums and stuff like that, too, were always kicking around my house, so I was kind of subjected to that stuff at an early age, probably around 5.
Okay. What's the most important element of music to you, and like in your music?
The most important element in my music, or in any music, is probably honesty. I think the only truly great music is music that isn't contrived or isn't taken from someone else. It's truly from inside of you, whether it sound good or bad, as long as it's honest. Good, honest music.
Okay. How many other bands have you been involved in?
I've been involved in about maybe 4 or 5 other bands, real bands. I mean, I've done a lot of session work with different people, different bands, but I started back when I was like 14, all the way up until now. I'm 24, so probably for the last 10 years, probably about 5 different bands.
Okay. Do you like doing solo work, or do you like working with bands more?
Do I like doing solo work, or do I like doing bands more? I would say that I like both, but for different reasons. I like doing solo work because I have complete and absolute control over everything that I'm doing, and no one can disagree or agree. It's just all me. But playing in other bands as a drummer, I like a lot because especially with heavier kinds of music, because drums are a very aggressive instrument, and I like to play them very aggressively. So I would, it's like 2 facets of my emotions. Like, the passionate side, I guess, would be what you'd hear in pipe choir, and the more aggressive side would be what you'd hear in my drumming.
Okay. What are the major differences? I guess you kind of answered this in the last one. But what are the major differences between working alone and with a band?
Well, the major difference between working alone and working in a band is working alone is very individual, and like when you hear pipe choir music, you're not hearing the result of 4 other people or 3 other people. You're hearing everything that I hear in my head. Like, when I write a song, I write everything in my head before I even touch an instrument, and that's probably the advantage. It's been the biggest difference too.
Okay. What are your plans musically, like the next few months and stuff? What do you want to get done?
Well, right now, in the next 5 months, what I plan to have done is a 5-song EP for pipe choir called 5 Knives, and it'll have 5 songs plus a bonus track at the end, and I'm drumming for another band, and we'll be playing out and doing small tours and everything of the northern half of the East Coast in the next 5 months. So that's where I'll be,
Good, Mike. You showed me the wrong side. There's like no question. Like,
well, the interview's done. Okay, let's go.
Okay. What about like advice that you would give to other musicians, and what do you think makes other musicians unsuccessful?
Advice I'd give to other musicians, and advice or things the reasons why I think they might be unsuccessful. Well, probably the first thing that I would suggest to absolutely anyone is practicing, because you without practice you're absolutely nothing. I don't care how great you might think you are, but practice is the only way. Music is the only way you can truly enjoy practicing it and really do it for a long time is by really enjoying it. And if you're not playing music you enjoy, you obviously can't do that. The reason why I think most bands are unsuccessful is because I think of ignorance. It's like they don't grasp the idea, the realistic ideas of being in a band and playing music. They don't understand. It's like they think that they're going to pick up an instrument, form a band, they're going to write maybe 5 pretty good songs and become rock stars, and it's just not that way. You really have to work on your songwriting skills. You have to work on your playing ability. You have to work on your integrity. I mean, actually going deep down inside yourself and pulling up what's really inside of your soul musically, not what you hear on the radio, not what your favorite band is doing. And I think a lot of the people, a lot of the bands now, in the local scene anyway, they hear Nine Inch Nails, so they want to be Nine Inch Nails, and they, et cetera, et cetera. It's like a classic story in Cleveland, the Cleveland music scene. I think another thing too is a lot of bands don't take the time to make contacts and talk to industry personnel. They look at them like they're monsters or something, or they're like is more than human, and they're really not. They're just people that have jobs. Being an A&R person is like a job. It's not their personality. So you can talk to these people and you can get information and learn how to do things the correct way. Learn how to talk to people and get the information that you need. It's like, for instance, like making a bio, making a press kit. What exactly do you need? You don't need a Bible. You don't need to put 40,000 pages of write-ups in your bio. Nobody cares. Nobody has time to read it. It's like if you just bother to ask someone, or even just talk to people, you learn stuff like that. And a lot of bands don't. They don't take the time. They just they're either too shy or they think they don't need it. But it's a fact of life. You either know somebody who has a lot of money, you either know somebody in the industry, or the casting room couch. It's like there's 3 things right there.
Boy, that was a long one. Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Don't mind. Okay, is it easy to remember songs that you haven't recorded?
Oh, absolutely, man. It's the music that I do.
Wait. You gotta. You just answered it. You didn't say it back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Easy to remember songs you recorded.
It's easy to remember songs that I recorded because it's like riding a bicycle to me. Once you do it, if you do it once, you don't have to ever relearn it. It's just something that you know, and that's how my songs pretty much are. I write them, and it's like in grade school and whatever, I couldn't remember my homework. I couldn't remember things that really mattered, but I could remember 4 different chord progressions for 5 different songs, or I could remember just all these different combinations, different songs, different lyrics, different time measures, all that kind of stuff. I've never had any problem remembering my own material. I could sit down at any moment and play everything I've ever written. It's just that way, even on drums.
Okay, where'd Mike go? Okay, what inspires you to write the most in life in general? What inspires you?
What inspires me the most to write? That's a great question. I'm gonna like to answer this one a lot. A lot of different things at different times. For the most part, probably. This might sound kind of weird, but like the agony in life, like things that people go through, like unsung hero kind of things, that inspire me. Like, a mother who lost her infant in a stillborn birth, or an older couple who, the old man passes away, so the wife is left by herself. And it's like, it happens every day, and people just kind of walk away from it and don't even pay any attention to it. But these are real, true kind of agonies, like pure agony that these people go through. And that inspires me probably more than anything, more than happiness, more than love, more than, you know what I mean? It's like there's so many different facets to being sad. And I like it when I can kind of step into that realm and write on that level, like step into that character of, the father whose son is a drug abuser, or the, I'm saying, I like to step into that and kind of write. A lot of my lyrics kind of, like if you heard them, I don't think you'd be able to pick that up, but it's definitely like what I'm feeling when I'm singing, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just like a character, I step into character, a lot of the stuff. Plus, I think like I've always been into like science fiction and things like that, so I incorporate a lot of things in, like, that have to do with like the Apollo missions, or just different, like the planets and the lunar bodies and everything. I'm really into that stuff, like planets, Saturn, and whatever, things like that. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
It's okay. I'm just like, you're starting to ramble.
You asked me, I'll tell you.
I'm sorry. I don't want to make you uncomfortable. It's just like, I'm into like, Saturn stuff.
It's cosmic, man. Saturn's got Saturn is the only planet in our solar system that has a moon that revolves the opposite way as everything else.
I didn't know that.
I did. See?
Okay. Do you use your music, like the actual instrumentation, do you use the music as much as you use lyrics to convey emotions?
Do I use my music as much as the lyrics to convey the emotions in the song? Absolutely. I would like to think every song I ever wrote, anything I've ever done musically, like if I wrote a lyric for a song, the music would have to, like follow it, almost like parallel it, even if it's like leveling off and going up and down, whatever, it would have to be that way. Like the music could never be happy and then have like a totally, distraught kind of, sorrowful thing. There's no way. It has to go together, and I would never write a song any other way.
Why did you take up drums as like your first instrument?
Why did I take up drums as my first instrument? I took up drums as my first instrument kind of by default because the Kiss Hotter Than Hell album, it was at my cousin's house, and it was me and my two brothers and my cousin, and we were Kiss. We'd go over there for family get-togethers or whatever, and we would like play the albums and totally just rock out to these Kiss albums, and I was always Peter Criss. Like, that's just the way it was. I wanted to be like Paul Stanley or Gene Simmons or whatever, but I was always stuck being Peter Criss. And eventually, because I had done that so much, my cousin had showed me, I was air drumming, of course, but he showed me where the drums were and what I should be air drumming, like how I should be air drumming and everything like that. And then it was just like a matter of practicing that. And then I sat down behind a drum set the first time I ever did, and I knew how to play it because I had practiced so much, I would suggest that to any drummer, though. It's probably the best thing any drummer could ever do for themselves is air drum. Totally builds stamina.
Okay. How often do you write?
I write every single moment of my life. I know that sounds like something Jim Morrison would say, but if you ask me how often I write, that's what I'd say. I write every single moment. I never stop. It's part of my personality. It's part of me. Like, I see things, even the spot that we're at right now, I'm thinking of things I could write about. I'm thinking of imagery or, whatever. So it's like constant, you know. It's kind of, as much as I'm thinking, I'm writing. I guess that's a good way of putting it.
Where did the name pipe choir originate?
Where did the name pipe choir originate? You know, I have no idea. I don't know. I think it's kind of like, it parallels my writing. It's just two words that are normally not put together, but they create an image in your mind. Pipe and choir, you know, they're just two words. And then, I put them together because in my mind, when I say pipe choir, I have an image in my mind of what that casts, like to people that are listening, or even to myself. It's like like a dark kind of gothic church thing, and I've always liked stuff like that. Even when I was a little kid, I've always been into that dark stuff, I guess.
Okay. And there's like 3 more questions. What do you want to achieve with pipe choir?
What do I want to achieve with pipe choir? I would like to have people enjoy it as much as I do. That would probably be the first thing. I want people to enjoy my music as much as I do. I don't really want to save the world or anything like that. I would like to eventually make a career out of it, so that I would be able to quit my day job. I would like to do movie soundtracks. That's something I'm definitely into. And just tour. If I could just tour, that would make me a very happy man. Very happy.
Oh. That sucked. It kind of like crackled off for a second.
That's all right.
Okay. How long has pipe choir existed?
How long has pipe choir existed? Pipe choir has existed now for about 4 years. Yeah, about 4 years. Going on 5.
Okay. Last question.
Sure.
How have your goals for pipe choir changed, like over in the last 5 years?
Well, how have my goals changed in the last 5 years? Well, I've become a lot more realistic, I think. I've learned a lot, and I've met a lot of people. I've heard a lot of different music, and now I have a completely different understanding of the industry and how songs are written or whatever. I rediscovered my voice in a way. I had to relearn. I never had anybody like showing me what to do. I didn't have any idea what I was supposed to be doing with my voice. I probably shouldn't be doing these, but I just I had to learn by myself kind of, and it took me 5 years to figure out that I didn't have to be constantly screaming into the microphone in order to be heard. So I guess that's something that I learned. I learned control with my voice, and I'm still learning. I think I'll always be learning with everything I do, but that's probably the most important thing anyway for pipe choir, my voice, So you don't have any more questions? You can ask me questions all day. I can answer questions all day.
Okay.